Randal Kolo Muani is on his way.
Oh,
What can Bianconeri fans expect?
great question. I don't want to dampen the mood right now, Juve fans. But if you expect this number 9 that will transform the team because he can do everything, link up the play. Kolo Muani, for me, is not Mota compatible. This is not the number 9 that Mota likes. He's nowhere near like Zirkzee. He's not good with his feet, not good enough with his feet. Yes, he can run, he can press, he will score a few goals. He's a really good boy. He will never complain about anything, never moan. But surely they signed him to play him wide. They can't have signed him to play him.
They have enough wingers. They signed him to play him at center forward.
Well, then if you think that Vlahovic is not good enough with his linker play, wait until you see Kolo Muani.
It's not that they don't think. It's just he's too expensive. That's the issue with Vlahovic.
But Kolo Muani can't hold up the ball. And so with Kolo Muani leaving PSG, Gabi, to go to Juventus, for Juventus, and Khvicha Kvaratskhelia replacing him in a way at PSG, is Garnacho going to take Var's place at Napoli?
All right, it's really two questions in one. With Kvaratskhelia, you'd know better than me. We talked about this on Monday. You can never have enough wingers in Lucho land. Is that basically the idea?
That's the idea, yeah.
Do we expect this deal to be done
today? On Thursday as we record? Probably, very likely, yeah.
So they need to replace him, and they're thinking Garnacho. Now, obviously, Manchester United fans are looking at this, and I think this is Napoli being really, really smart. Garnacho has a deal through 2028.
Yeah.
It's a very low paid deal because obviously he signed a 5-year deal or a 6-year deal even. So he's still on that pretty low basic salary. If you're Garnacho, you're saying, all right, how can I get into the team? The way Amorim plays with the 2 number 10s, clearly Bruno is one of them. Amad Diallo is another one. Even Zirkzee could come into the mix if you have to gamble on somebody, that's the guy you gamble on because you just signed him and you can't shift them. You're not even sure if you're Garnacho you can play as a number 10.
And he's been in and out, to be fair.
He's been in and out because they got him from Atletico Madrid when he was very, very young. The money that they would bring in would be pure profit. United reportedly they value him around 60 million euros. Napoli, I believe, made an offer of 30 million. I think they can meet somewhere, and he's not going to cost you too much in wages. So I think this is smart from Napoli if they can pull it off.
It's not just Abdulkadir Kusanov that Manchester City are signing. They're also closing in on Vitor Reis from Palmeiras in Brazil. Is adding defenders the way forward?
I find this really interesting in the context of Pep because these guys, Kusanov is 20 years old.
Yeah.
He's had 18 months of top flight football in a Big Five league.
Big Five league, yeah.
Vitor Reis is 19. He's had, I think, half a year, 1 year as a starter.
He looks really young as well.
This is what you do, I think, with an eye towards the future, right? To going forward. This is not what you do if you're Pep Guardiola and you're like, oh my God, I need to go and rescue the season now and rescue next season.
Be better straight away.
So I don't know if it's Hugo Viana already getting involved. I don't know because obviously Chiqui's leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're City, you're good. It's good that you're thinking about the future, but you also have to think about who's going to develop these guys. So interesting strategy.
Definitely.
Omar Marmoush scores again, even as he continues to flirt with Manchester City. Show a bit of leg there.
Yeah.
And Eintracht come from behind to beat Freiburg 4-1.
Impressive.
Jules, he now has as many goals as Harry Kane.
Yeah, impressive season for him, impressive season for Frankfurt. Even when they a goal down, they come back. They play with so much intensity. They're great. We've said it many, many times. If you haven't watched them this season, go and watch them because they are great to watch. They're very entertaining. And he's outstanding. I don't know if he can keep this up. If he moves to City, if he stays, or if he goes somewhere else. I don't know if this is a one-off season or if really he's got, because he's never played that well ever. He's 25 now. He's never played. They picked him on a free and because of that. So let's see. I hope for him he can continue and getting better and better and keeping that kind of form. But it's just remarkable.
Third best Egyptian forward in the world.
Who's the second?
Well, Mido. It's always Mido. The answer is always
in
Mido.
The history, because I was looking at active players.
No. Right now, I bet Mido could come out. No, I'm just kidding. I love Mido. The only thing is, I go back to this, and this will become an issue if he does sign. I don't understand this because for the same reason, when Chelsea started thinking that, Nkunku can be our backup center forward because, look, he played up front before. Yeah, he played up front in a 2, which is very different.
Which is the same as Marmoush. Yeah.
And Marmoush plays in a 2 with Ekitike, who's really good. Are you really gonna play him with Haaland?
Sometimes I guess you can.
But it's an adjustment.
Yeah. True,
Why do you make adjustments mid-season when you're in this condition?
But then if you need a player that you want to play wide as well because you're not happy when you have to play.
Savino.
No, but you have to play and Grealish, I guess. Do you see what I mean? So maybe I don't know. I can understand why they also want Marmoush, and I think the Marmoush deal to City will go through at some point later in the month.
You know what? But if he's going to end up costing 60, 70, 80 million, I mean, Janaga Fjortoft says 80 million.
Yeah.
Isn't the obvious question, why not just keep Alvarez?
Yeah. And sticking with Villa, Daniel Malen, one of your favorite players, has signed and is official now. Are you happy with that?
So I think he actually, I've had my criticism of Daniel Malen.
I've always been a fan, Daniel, if you're watching.
Was salivating over him. But 25 million euros for a guy who's 25, 24, and a guy who Dortmund, this is what's happened. And I have a column up about asking whether football's entered, we're going to have deflation in football, where prices are just keep going down.
Yeah.
Daniel Malen, Dortmund paid 30 million for him. And yeah, he had injuries, he's in and out, but he's been terrible. Last season, he scored 12 goals in the Bundesliga, 15 overall. For a guy who's a winger, and who's a winger who can play on either wing, by the way, that is a lot.
Yeah,
that is a ton of goals. And to think that sort of 4 years later, you're letting him go, and he still has, I think, 2 years left or 18 months of his contract. You're letting him go for just 25 million euros. That's a steal and a half.
Yeah,
I think this is a really good move for. Like not that long ago, they were spunking 60 million on Moussa Diaby.
Yeah.
So that's how far we've come.
Absolutely.
More Chelsea defender talk. Trevoh Chalobah is on his way back from his loan at Palace, and Maresca addressed Renato Vega's desire to play center back, which I think now is even less likely.
Yeah. I mean, Chalobah makes a lot of sense. He was there on loan more than go and spend 50 million on Marc Guéhi, for example. When Guéhi was also one of your players in the past, it's right to record Chalobah. So this is normal. And then Maresca said about Vega playing centre back. He said, I also would like to have hair, but this is not possible. So I think we got the message from Maresca that it's very unlikely that Renato Vega at some point plays centre back for Chelsea.
I was going to make an inappropriate joke about something we're going to talk about later on in the show.
Yeah, please don't. Let me move on.
James Rodriguez has joined Leon in Liga MX. Jules, it didn't work out at Rayo, but we still get to see him. Probably
we will, absolutely, Gabby. I mean, he continues his Tour du Monde, traveling the world, find clubs. He's gone in many countries now, and
Western Sydney Wanderers next, maybe.
Probably. Or Newcastle, but the Newcastle from Australia. So good luck to him. I'm not really sure what happened at Rayo.
You never played?
Why he never played? Was it because he didn't train hard, didn't want to train?
He doesn't run. He stands around.
On the back of the good Copa America that he had, we thought, oh, wow, it's so good to see James. And rightly so. It's so good to see James back in that kind of form. Rayo probably thought, he's going to help us in the season. And actually, it was an absolute car crash. So, good luck to him in Liga MX. But if he thinks that it's going to be easy, you should think twice. Marca reports that Al Nassr wants Cristiano Ronaldo to extend his contract, which expires at the end of this current season, and they are even offering him shares in the club. Will that be enough?
Shares of the club.
Shares of Al Nassr. If you own 5% of the club.
5% of a club where you own 5% of a club that loses money, largely to pay your salary. By the way, I don't see how this moves the needle at all for Cristiano Ronaldo. I think it's funny that they even thought, Cristiano, whatever, but the guy who looks after him, Uncle George, is pretty sharp.
They're not, they fell out. So I'm not sure.
They did fall out, but I'm assuming Uncle George still wants to get paid.
Do you think?
Here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whoever it is says, guys, these shares in Al Nassr, maybe some future point when the club becomes profitable and worth something, and the SPL becomes like a normal league with normal people owning it and not the public investment fund, the sovereign wealth fund of the country, owning the 4 biggest clubs, including this. And so you might actually have decision making, and you could actually sell shares to people. Maybe this mythical point in the future when Cristiano will probably be 80 years old and still playing in pursuit of Christine Sinclair's international record.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be. No, this is just a PR stunt. And yeah, it's 5% of what? 5% of something where you have to put in money every year to take over the losses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny. If you give them 5% and they say, oh, because I have no idea how the accounting works there. I'm assuming it's normal accounting at least.
Yeah, I think so.
So what happens at the end of the year, Al Nassr go and they see, how much revenue do we make from sponsors and blah, 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 and how much in the hole are we? 200 million. Okay, shareholders, everybody put in money, right? Put in equity. What are you going to do? Go in like, hey, Cristiano, you got 5%. Yeah, you get to put in 5%. He's like, well, yeah. Cristiano's going to be like, yeah, okay, guys, checks in the mail. Come on, man.